All right, now it's your second turn.
Okay, week 2.
So yeah, every turn is like this, where you set up your schedule, and then you pick an event, and then you get your Sunday event.
Okay, I think I need a dance to be... And I want that girl to come back. It's probably Tea Party that brought that other girl. The baby. Okay.
Go for it.
Yay! 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 Well, you got the good one. Yay! 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 Whoa, look at this.
You're maxed in artistry.
Well.
You are now an artist.
That's good.
A knock came at the door.
Sarah? Sarah, dear? Yes? Is there... Oh! Hello.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. I
was looking at you because I am not doing the French voice.
Hold on. Put your earplug back in because I just actually ripped it out. Let me think about really let me think on her voice. But go on, put it back in.
I'm only using one.
Oh, okay. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Miss Minchin hissed through her teeth. The young woman in the maid's uniform fell silent.
Sarah, before your father left, he arranged for a maid to be employed especially for your needs. She has just arrived. I believe she is from France. Yes. Her name is Mariette, and she will be living with you in your rooms, helping with your clothing in the morning and anything else you require. Please use her as your liaison with the staff. If you have need of food, send your maid rather than speaking to the cook directly. And don't let her fool you. She does speak the Queen's tongue.
She swept out of the room, leaving the maid and her new little mistress blinking at each other in confusion.
I have a friend! Bonjour, Mariette. Je m'appelle Sarah. Comment allez-vous?
That was actually much better. That was good.
Who knew I was a French little girl on the inside, huh?
Très bien, merci. And I am pleased to see that you are just as your papa described you. I don't know. I'll have to think about it later.
I don't know.
All right.
Oh, what did he say?
That no other little girl is as solemn as you, and that you would make me smile.
But why would being solemn make someone smile?
It is your je ne sais quoi. It is you. Now, why don't you show me around your rooms?
Oh, I'm not good enough. Well, I got 2 other ones, though.
You have to pick one.
Well, I'm not going to talk to her. Oh, I'm so graceful that I can put up with her nonsense.
I don't know.
But we'll talk to the maid. She's nicer.
You like the maid.
I don't like the other girl. Everyone else is better.
You just want me to voice... Wait, I voiced them both anyways.
Mariette, is it alright if I ask you a few questions about yourself?
What's that second word?
Sir? I don't know.
I'll say sir. Hold on. Bien sûr, mademoiselle. What do you wish to know?
What is your family name? Miss Minchin did not say.
Dumas, mademoiselle.
Oh, are you a relative of the great French writer, the author of the 3 Musketeers?
Mariette chuckled kindly. Non, mademoiselle. Well, not in a close way. I am not. There are many with the name of Dumas, and I cannot know what connections there are between all people. Do you know all of your cousins and your cousins' cousins, and all who bear the name of Crew?
I don't know anyone else named Crew except for myself and my papa.
So you see, I cannot see who my relatives might be at some distance. Sarah nodded.
Where in France do you come from?
I grew up in Limoges. You may have heard of the Limoges box de porcelain? She shook her head. Well, they were famous once. Perhaps they will be again. For now, like much of Limoges, they have faded. I think I'm getting better at the French accent as I go.
Yeah, that's much better. What is it like there?
Ah, what is it like anywhere? It is a city not so large as Paris or London, no.
Is it near Paris?
Non pestra proche. I have no idea what that says or means, so I apologize for all the butchering I'm going to do when she picks Mariette, but maybe it'll be funny for
I'm
that.
gonna keep picking it just for this.
Well, then maybe it'll be funny for the audience because of that reason. This will be like the few times I get to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Alright. Non pestra proche. It is in the south. You must rely on the railways to travel between them. All trains lead to Paris. Sarah tried to picture it. She did not know Limoges is, but if it was in the south, then it must be warm and green, surely. She had seen paintings of France, stone houses, arches, and bridges, rolling green hills, hanging vines, and sunlight, always sunlight. Not the fogs of London.
It must be lovely.
As you say, mademoiselle.
How did you come to take this position? What I mean to say is, my papa and I did not have time to visit France, and I did not meet you until you came here. Did you meet my papa somewhere else? She's my mom. No, she's something that she's not letting on. She's
Maybe
really my
an
sister.
Assassin.
No, like there's something going on here.
Maybe she's a doll.
Yeah.
None. We have never met in flesh and blood. I think I lost her French accent.
Sorry.
That's fine. Your papa, he is a gentleman and knows many other gentlemen in fine cities like Paris. When it happened that he wished to appoint a maid, he wrote to this Paris gentleman to describe you. And I have a cousin who works for this Paris gentleman. And he thought of me, and so the arrangements were made. And I am glad that they were. Sarah smiled. The gentle warmth of Mariette's regard was very comforting for a little girl, one who had been separated from her family and made to live in a far-off place. It was true that Mariette was, for the most part, only another stranger, like any other in Miss Minchin's seminary. They were only just beginning to know each other. And yet, Mariette was not simply a stranger who might come and go, like the students. She was Sarah's maid, the beginnings of her very own household. She might, in time, be the closest thing to family.
I wonder about the friend my papa has in Paris. I wonder if he ever knew my mother. Yeah, she's somebody more than this. I mean, that's obvious.
It was the beginning of another week of classes, and the students were seated neatly in rows in the schoolroom. Miss Minchin walked up and down between the desks, ensuring that each pupil's head was bowed to her particular lessons. She paused beside Sarah, a book in her hand. She's gonna hit me.
Now, Sarah, as your papa has engaged a French maid for you, I conclude that he wishes you to make a special study of the French language. I think he engaged her because he thought I would like her, Miss Minchin. I am afraid you may have been something of a spoiled little girl, and as such you always imagine that things are done because you like them. It is a fault in you, and one we must endeavor to train away. My impression, Sarah, is that your papa wished for you to learn French. I have never really learned to speak French, but that is quite enough. You have never learned, and so you must begin at once. The French master, Monsieur Defarge, will be here in a few minutes. Take this book and look at it until he arrives.
Dutifully, Sarah stared at the illustrated pages in front of her.
The père, the father. La mère, the mother. You look rather cross, Sarah. I'm sorry you do not like the idea of learning French. I am very fond of it, but... You must not say but when you are told to do things. Miss Abbott, young ladies should not make dreadful snickering noises like a horse.
Yes, Miss Minchin.
Sarah, look at your book again. Yes, Miss Minchin. Oh, come on, I don't want to do French.
We'll both watch some French videos or something.
Le fils, the son. La frère, the brother. Oh dear.
Shortly after, Monsieur Defarge arrived in the classroom. The French master was an elderly gentleman with a neatly trimmed mustache and beard, and hair that flew outwards in dramatic points. His eyes lit up when he caught sight of an unfamiliar little girl puzzling over a book of French phrases. "Ah, is this a new pupil for me, madame?"
Her papa, Captain Crew, is very anxious that she should begin the language, but I'm afraid she has a childish prejudice against it. She does not seem to wish to learn.
"I am very sorry to hear that, mademoiselle. Perhaps when we begin to study together, I may show you that it is a charming tongue." Little Sarah rose in her seat. She was beginning to feel rather desperate.
Je ne peux pas le faire comprendre.
Remember that neither of us know French, so we won't have very good French accents, but we will continue. The show must go on.
Yeah, can't they bring a Spanish guy in?
Probably not. She began to explain quite simply in pretty and fluent French. Madame had not understood. She had not learned French exactly, not out of books. But her papa and other people had always spoken it to her, and she had read it and written it as she had read and written English. Her papa loved it, and she loved it because he did. Her dear mama, who had died when she was born, had been French.
Okay, verifying that the maid is probably related, and she's gonna be mad. What? What on earth? What is she saying? Is this some form of joke?
Madame, there is not much I can teach her. She had not learned French. She is French. Her accent is exquisite.
Thank you. I am pretty good at it. You ought to have told me. You didn't give me a chance. I tried. I suppose I did not begin right.
Miss Minchin slammed her hand upon the desk.
Silence, young ladies. Silence at once.
And though the other students soon settled back to proper schoolroom behavior, Miss Minchin's lips remained tightly pressed together whenever she looked at Sarah. Smooth moves. Good job there. Good job. You pissed her off.
She was mean. Okay, now the problem is after all these events, I forget what things I need for certain checks.
That is unfortunately a problem. But yeah.
Do you remember what I need from the toddler girl?
Toddler girl? Belief?
So I want to do anything and gain a whole lot of artistry because that would be a waste.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a 1 in 3 chance of landing on artistry for something with only 1 artistry point in it.
Right. I'm not running a lot of patience. What time? Okay.
Tea party.
Okay, okay. I'm not very vigorous. We'll work on it later. Let's get smart. Yes. Let's kind of get a good variety there. Okay, let's do that. Here we go. Ready?
Sure. Don't agree with your dance choices, though. Because it's a good artistry thing, and you're maxing artistry.
Oh, yeah. I want to get like the vigor and the other stuff with it, hopefully.
Be more excited. You sounded really bored there. I don't mean that. I'm talking when you were just talking.
Oh.
So you doubled all vigor, so now you have 2 vigor.
But I only got 1 artistry, so it's okay.
Yeah,
it's not that bad. I mean, when I have some.
It's just a possibility that you might get artistry. That's
okay.
All.
I know. I'm saying that I want to get, because vigor is tough to get, it looked like.
Okay.
And I want to have, like, you died because you don't have vigor kind of event or something.
It doesn't look hard to get because you have a chance to double it.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Look at me. I'm pretty awesome.
If the French language fell naturally from Sarah's lips, there were other lips from which it seemed it could not escape at all, no matter how long the owner stared at her workbook.
Oh, I'm going to have to be the country girl trying to do French, aren't I?
Mm-hmm, you figured it out.
Well, at least I can fake not doing French real well.
Yeah, there you go. But you have to kind of keep the dialogues distinct.
I don't think I had a voice for her, really. It's kind of what was the Sarah voice. Well, Lee Pear, the father. Lee don't lie there, the mother.
To Ermengarde, It had seemed almost unbelievable that a girl of her own age could string together so many words of French as if they were mere trifles. Dismayed at her own failings, she was devoting more effort than usual to the trial of understanding her lesson. Her elbows rested on the desk, her hands under her chin, as she repeated the broken syllables under her breath. She stared so hard and bit the ribbon on her pigtail so fast that she attracted the attention of Miss Minchin, who, feeling extremely cross at the moment, immediately pounced upon her.
Miss St. John, what is the meaning of such conduct? What? Remove your elbows. Take your ribbon out of your mouth. Sit up at once. Yes, Miss Minchin.
Matters did not improve for Miss St. John when the French master himself arrived.
Good bread, le bon pain.
Kindly though he was, Monsieur Defarge could not help but smile at her pronunciation. That is not quite correct. Écoutez bien la bonne pain.
Le bon pain. I can't.
Why?
She like is this. It's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to do fake French, bad French.
I'm pretty sure we're doing bad
voice.
French. Yes, it is. I'm
the
sure
hard
that
French is not. The bad French is not hard, but like so many layers of what I'm trying to do. Le bon bang. Girls, conduct yourselves.
Hold on, what happened to her? Do her voice again. Do it better. You made it sound like she was like.
Well, she was my normal voice, pretty much, but angry. So I kind of lost
what
it.
You sound like.
Yes.
You sounded like you were eating something, or you
No.
ate some bad.
No.
What's the thing that's not coleslaw but similar? Sauerkraut. You sound like you just ate some sauerkraut.
Girls, conduct yourselves.
That's a little better, I guess. There's a weird twang there.
Twang?
Yeah, it sounded like there was a twang. Like, I don't know. Go on.
It isn't funny, really. They ought not to laugh. Poor thing.
It was a way of hers always to want to spring into any fray in which someone was made uncomfortable or unhappy. However, there was no way for any hero to defend or rescue Ermengarde from the horrors of education, at least, not until the lesson period had concluded.
Check it out. Whoa, look at that. I got the stuff. I don't have enough belief.
You only get one belief. You had two at the beginning of the week.
I got a belief for her, too. Man. Oh, yeah, I feel bad for you.
Having made up her mind to befriend the unfortunate Ermengarde, Sarah first had to seek her out. Someone like Lavinia could be easily tracked from a distance by the sharp sound of her voice, or the drumming heels of little girls stampeding away from her presence. Ermengarde, however, kept largely to herself and did not make a great deal of noise. Sarah found her at last, bundled rather disconsolately in a window seat. Forthright and fearless, Sarah walked over to offer a friendly greeting.
Hello, what is your name?
Her name, of course, was already known, as they had been introduced, however briefly, upon Sarah's arrival at the school. This was, however, the traditional thing that little girls always said to each other by way of beginning an acquaintance. The etiquette of children has its own observances.
My name's Ermengarde St. John. Mine's Sarah Crew. Yours is very pretty. It sounds like a storybook. Do you like it?
To understand why she fluttered so nervously, one must recall that a new pupil at school is, for a short time, a very uncertain thing. Cliques and friendships in a small environment can become very firmly set indeed, and leave no room for the excluded, no matter how many years might pass. To the friendless, then, a new student brings with her a breath of hope. Here is someone who is not yet claimed. Perhaps she will like me. And yet, as she is unknown, friendship may not be a possibility, A new girl could equally be snobbish or foolish or mean-spirited. The hope is always adulterated with fear. This pupil was even more noteworthy than most, for rumors about her had filled the school even before her arrival. She had her own carriage and her own maid. Her rooms were like no one else's. Her wardrobe was exquisite. She had the adventure of a voyage from India to discuss. It is no wonder that Ermengarde was somewhat tongue-tied upon being addressed.
I like yours. Your name?
She bit her lip in chagrin at her own stumbling. Sarah held out her hand, not as a grand lady might for a gentleman to touch it, but as if greeting someone who was already a friend.
She considered her a man? That's harsh.
After only a moment's hesitation, Ermengarde took it.
I'm very pleased to meet you. Me too. Oh, you should meet Emily as well. Something weird's happening with this doll. She keeps coming up.
Every time Emily is mentioned, Mrs. Tran looks right at me.
There's something sketchy with that doll. Who is Emily? New girl's crazy. Come up to my room, and you shall see. All right.
They jumped down from the window seat together and went upstairs.
Is it true that you have a whole playroom all to yourself?
The ordinary pupils at Miss Minchin's select seminary had only small bedrooms of their own. Enough space to sleep, and dress, and read, if they were inclined, but for most activities they must venture out.
Yes, Papa asked Miss Minchin to let me have one.
She opened the door and beckoned Ermengarde inside, where the doll awaited.
See? There's the sitting room through that door. Oh, it's beautiful! Sometimes when I am playing, I make up stories about the things that I'm doing and tell them to myself, and I don't like people to hear me. It spoils it if I think people might listen. Does that sound too selfish of me?
When there's parentheses like that, probably not. It's more like probably
Note
thinking.
to self, yeah.
So I'll probably make sort of echo for that.
I do tell stories for others as well. It is only that some stories, particularly new ones that I am only just making up, are private. They are too delicate to be shared.
Ermengarde had paused, her eyes wide.
You make them up? How can you do that? Why, anyone can make up things. Have you never tried? But where do the stories come from? Inside my head. And I do whatever Emily tells me to do. Don't you ever imagine that things might happen that haven't? You must have dreams when you sleep, at least.
Ermengarde shook her head, her braids wobbling.
I try not to think about things like that. They are too confusing. I try to think only about what I'm supposed to be learning at school. I try very hard, but it doesn't seem to help.
Sarah found the concept of a girl with no imagination at all too difficult to grasp.
Surely you must read storybooks about things that aren't real. Oh no, I hate to read.
Seeing that this response disappointed Sarah, she fished for a better explanation.
I don't read well. I can't concentrate. The words run together. And it's so hard to remember anything that I read in a book. I meant to read a great many books for Miss Minchin's classes, but I get them all mixed up. When we read poems after history, I thought that Christabel was the daughter of the King of Spain. Apparently that's like, oh my gosh. I don't want to read anything more than I absolutely must. I'll only make a muddle of it. And if I tried to make up a story, then how would I remember what was real and what wasn't? But it's good that you can. What if you read stories about fairies or dragons? Surely you wouldn't get those confused with things at school. But I might. You are very like a fairy, and you are here at school. I'm sorry, I'm very dull and slow. Everyone says so. I understand if you do not wish to spend any more time with me.
Sarah patted Ermengarde on the shoulder in a companionable fashion.
Everyone is different. I am only sorry that it means I cannot share my favorite books with you. I have so many favorites that I love, and I wish that you could love them too. Oh, I have an idea. Perhaps if I read them to you, you would not get them confused with other books. I don't know.
Hesitantly, she smiled.
But I could try? Good. Did you see that darling little blue and yellow bird on the way back from church?
It was only a blue tit. They're hopelessly common.
I hadn't seen one before. They're country birds. They like trees. You don't see them so much in London. There must be many more birds in the country. Are there any birds in England that are blue all over?
I don't think so. Are there bluebirds in India?
Well, there are some birds with bright blue feathers, but not all over, and some with birds that are blue all over, but only a little bit blue. I thought that perhaps in England I might find the bluebird of happiness. What is that? I shall tell you, all of you. Come up to my room and we shall have tea delivered.
You shouldn't give orders to cook. It's not proper for a young lady to go into the kitchens.
Oh, I won't go. My maid, Mariette, will fetch the tea for us.
You have your own personal maid to bring you tea?
Yes, my father arranged for her to come from France. Come and say hello.
Sarah and her entourage were greeted at the door.
Oh my, so many visitors.
If it's all right, would you please bring tea for my guests, Mariette?
Oui, mademoiselle.
Mariette went at once to the kitchens to carry out her little mistress's orders. The head cook of Miss Minchin's Select Seminary looked up at Mariette's approach, her face as pinched as her dough. I'll do it.
Here, now, what's this then? Afternoon tea for 4.
Oh, is that all? I expect she'll be wanting fresh cakes too. Never mind that we haven't any maid.
None. There are biscuits already. Never seen that stop one of those girls from wanting more, quick as you please. It is perhaps so with some, but not with my mistress. Ah, l'air d'une princesse et petite. She thanks me for my work just as if she were thanking a grand lady.
Humph, giving herself airs, you mean?
As you wish it. Still, I am very pleased with my place. Now, the tea?
Alright, so that's we have now taken 3 turns. We've recorded for about an hour. They'll probably be a little bit less than that with me editing out some things, but because of the music in the background, I may just edit out the vocals. We'll see how I choose to handle that. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. It's a particularly different way than I've been doing some of the other episodes. There's actually some humor in it, a little more energy.
But funny.
But it's not quite as me seriously trying to beat other games. We're actually playing a game instead of me just trying to win a game. There is that distinguishing characteristic. Thank you very much for watching Tran's play... what's the name of this game? A Little Lily Princess.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm everyone else.
And neither of us are French. And thank you for watching.
Thank you. I'll see you next time.
Bonjour, Mariette. Je m'appelle Sarah. Comment allez-vous?
Hold on. Speak like the little
Oh,
girl.
no, I can't do French.
Try.
Hold on.
Très bien, merci. And I am pleased to see that you are just as your papa described you.
I feel like you became Romanian or something
Oh,
in the
let me
middle
try
there.
that again.
I don't know. But
Hold on.
S'il vous plaît, monsieur. Je ne peux le faire comprendre.
Try me that one more time.
S'il vous plaît, monsieur. Je ne peux pas le faire comprendre. Comprender. I can't do it without sounding Spanish. All I know is Spanish. Comprender. Comprendre. I can't do non-Spanish on that.
I may leave that in, but remember that neither of us know French, so we won't have very good French accents, but we will continue. The show must go on.
Yeah, can't they bring a Spanish guy in?
Probably not. She had not learned French. She is French. Her accent is exquisite.
Thank you. I am pretty good at it. Come to my room and you shall see.
Try again.
Come up to your room. Come up to my room and you shall see.
Playful.
Come to my room and you shall see.
No. More solemn still.
You are a harsh director, my friend.
Look at her face and use that as your guideline.
She looks very peaceable and not super excited.
Yes, so maybe
Okay.
like a riddle, but teasing.
Come to my room and you will see. The phrasing doesn't fit with that.
All right. Say this.
Come up to my room
And now,
and you shall see.
there you go.
I feel like that's what I did the first time.
It was
when
more
you do the
si-
editing,
it was
you'll
more,
show
it
me
was
side
more,
by
it was
side.
more sing-songy at the first part.